Hello, I'm Andy and welcome to Vectra News, your fill of gaming news for the week of the 2nd of May 2015. Coming up in this week's episode, PT is delisted from the PlayStation Store and Silent Hills is cancelled. A mysterious countdown timer appears on the Black Mesa site. Valve allows developers to permanently ban Steam users from their games. And an E3 PC gaming press conference is announced. Last year, a game simply called PT appeared on the PlayStation Network store. This eventually turned out to be the front for a new game in the Silent Hills franchise, headed up by Hideo Kojima and director Guillermo del Toro. However, in the last few weeks, the coming demise of the game has been hinted at through several sources. First, Del Toro said during a panel, "It's not going to happen and that breaks my greasy heart." This was then followed by The Walking Dead's actor, Norman Reedus, who was set to appear in the game, tweeting, "Super bummed about this, was really looking forward to it. Hopefully it will be coming back around. Sorry everyone." Rumours started to ramp up as Konami announced that PT would be removed from the PS network on Wednesday the 29th of April. Although PT is now gone from the network, if you've previously installed it, you still have access to the game. Soon after this though, Konami officially confirmed that Silent Hills is cancelled, however mentioned that Konami is committed to new Silent Hill titles. Both the removal of PT and the cancellation of Silent Hills has sparked off a couple of things on the internet. Firstly, people have begun flogging their PS4s with PT installed for stupid amounts of money. And secondly, a petition on change.org has started asking for development of the game to continue. At the time of recording, the petition had just over 48,600 signatures. With Kojima's departure of Konami after Metal Gear Solid 5's release, conspiracies have started, one of which believes that the text at the end of PT was actually some clever foreshadowing by Kojima, trying to tell everyone that the development of the game wasn't going well at all. It's speculated that the dad in the message is actually Konami, and the phrase "dying of boredom" is referring to Kojima dealing with the company itself. Its final line, "I will be coming back, I'm bringing my new toys with me," is said to suggest that Kojima will be reviving the project, albeit not in the Silent Hills franchise, as Konami ultimately own the rights to it. The Black Mesa site has changed slightly this week. The homepage now is a CRT monitor switching between a purple screen to a test page and then off again. Clicking on this screen takes you to bmrf.us, which is assumed to stand for Black Mesa Research Facility, and reveals a countdown timer which ends on the 5th of May at 3:46 PM British Summer Time. If you convert this into the time zone where Black Mesa is fictionally located in New Mexico, then you arrive at 8:46 AM, a minute before the time mentioned at the start of Half-Life, and it also links in with the date on top of Gordon Freeman's acceptance letter from the company, which actually features in the PlayStation 2 instruction manual, although his actual start date on the letter did say no later than the 15th of May. Now of course this isn't the first time we've seen a countdown timer which has got people hyped up for something. The most recent one I can remember is the now dead site The Survivor 2299, which ended in disappointment for many believing a Fallout 4 announcement was coming. Instead, they simply received egg on their face. However, the fact that the Black Mesa site itself has a link to this countdown gives this some weight. At present, the 2012 Source Engine remake of Half-Life is incomplete, stopping just before Chapter 15 of the game, the chapter entitled Zen. On the 12th of April, some Black Mesa multiplayer footage was also shown off on Twitch, however this seems to have been in a beta state. As the full retail release of Black Mesa is said to be coming out complete with multiplayer functionality, it's unlikely that the full version will be released on the 5th of May. So that means the countdown timer could potentially be a multiplayer beta release or a release date announcement for the game. Do you lot have any ideas what this could be counting down to? Let me know in the comments section below. Valve has updated its policies to allow game developers to ban players from their games. The new powers allow developers to make their own punishments for a player, as long as it is consistent with a VAC ban, such as being prevented from playing the game online with other players or from trading items for the game. These bans will be limited to multiplayer games only, and in order to apply the ban, the developer will first need to contact Valve, although I would assume the whole process will be automated. Devs will not be able to stop users from launching and playing a game offline, and they cannot prevent a user from using Steam. The length of the ban will be decided by the developer, and if they choose a permanent ban, this will appear on the user's profile. Any appeals will have to go through the game developer directly, but Steam support is also there if the player feels that the dev is treating them unreasonably. Hopefully it won't have to come to this though, as it does seem that Steam will have a whitelist for devs that can use the system. The Steam FAQ section doesn't clarify how their approval process works for this list though. Valve is often coined as being too hands-off and implementing plans without them being thought through properly. The recent Paids mod fiasco is the latest example of this, with the feature causing so much backlash that it was removed within a week of starting. Personally, I think it was a good concept, but horribly implemented, especially on Skyrim, a game with so many mods already. If you want to hear my full views on this though, you can watch this week's Spawn Point video, which will be linked at the end of this video. However, Valve's move here is possibly a valid one. They can't be expected to police the thousands of games already on Steam. The new system, however, could lead to abuse by developers. An extreme case would be restricting critics from playing their games. Previously, we've seen some developers attempt DMCA takedowns on videos that they didn't like, as they showed people just how bad their games were. Total Biscuit's videos for Day One Gary's Instant and The Guys of the Wolf are two examples of this, which have since been restored. But in reality, a lot of multiplayer games have already had their own anti-cheat systems. Call of Duty, for example, has been using its own system for its last few games. As far as I can tell, the new policy will simply allow these already used third-party systems to show bans on users' profiles. Let's not lose our heads though. In reality, this change probably won't affect the majority of users at all. Let's not also forget that before Steam even existed, developers used to police their own games anyway. This year's E3 is set to take place from the 16th to the 18th of June, along with the current confirmed press conferences by Bethesda, EA, Square Enix. A pure PC gaming show will be held on the 16th at 5 PM Pacific, 8 PM Eastern or 1 AM British Summer Time, which will also be streamed via Twitch. It looks like the event will be hosted by Sean Day9 Plot, who will be joined by speakers from AMD, Blizzard, Bohemia Interactive, Cliff Basinski, Cloud Emporium Games, Dean Hall, Devolver, Humble Bundle, Heart Machine, Paradox Interactive, Square Enix, and Tripwire Interactive. The website, PCGamingShow.com, also notes that more speakers will be announced at a later date. This is the first time that E3 will showcase a PC gaming conference. A quote from their website simply says, "PC gaming is in a golden age. With more powerful and affordable hardware than ever before, thousands of games available through Steam, Origin and other platforms, and millions of viewers regularly watching esports online, now for the first time the PC platform will have its own event during E3, where the community will be able to celebrate this era with some of the biggest names in PC gaming and see the innovations that lie ahead." But that's all from Vectra News this week. Don't forget to like, favourite, subscribe, follow us on Twitter and Facebook to keep up to date with everything on the network. But until next week, goodbye.